Hi, Rosemary. Could you tell me about Central Rescue?
Sure. Central Rescue, and actually it's short for Central Rescue and Rehabilitation. This group started with Wendy Lesage, who is a professional dog trainer, a great rehabilitator. She runs a boarding and daycare center as well. And Central Rescue came about because we found that in Massachusetts there was a need for a rescue that can focus on the dogs that tend to have behavioral issues and possibly medical issues. But we were a small group of experienced dog handlers and dog trainers, and we wanted to be able to take advantage of that and work with the dogs where other shelters really didn't have the resources to work with them. So we're really a small group, but we're specialized in working dogs that definitely have some challenges.
That's really nice, thank you. And what are the differences between Central Rescue and other adoption organizations?
Well, I've been in rescue for over 10 years, and I've actually noticed a trend lately that a lot of other adoption organizations, not all, but there are a lot of newer ones that have come onto the scene, and they tend to work with their niche, I would say, it would be the smaller and maybe easier dogs. So they get dogs from out of state. They don't tend to work locally. And they'll take dogs that they can move through a little bit quickly, helping the other states and also getting more people to adopt. And again, what Central Rescue's focus is, we take what we call maybe the forgotten dogs. These are the dogs that, usually no fault of their own, weren't brought up properly, didn't have the right circumstances in order to be their best, and then we bring them into our organization, mostly in foster homes. And we help with socialization, we help with issues if they've got dog aggression, if they've got food aggression, if they've got fear aggression. We're able to handle those issues, and we're also able to say to potential adopters, you know, this is what the behavior is like in a home environment, because we bring them into our home with our dogs, and we get a lot of information out there for the potential adopters.
Okay, and how do they train dog behavior problems?
You know, it varies. We try to do a lot with positive reinforcement, but it's not really training that we're looking at first. First, it's really focusing on their behavior and trying to figure out what's causing that behavior. So if you know, we've had dogs that have come from situations where they haven't been fed properly and they've got issues with food, so they may be a little bit aggressive when food is around. So we focus on making them comfortable. You know, they're going to know that they have food available. We like to maybe hand feed them so that a hand is associated with a good thing, whereas before they may be thinking a hand is going to take away the food. Now they see a hand is going to be giving them the food.
How can Central Rescue make people understand that dogs have some problems and let them love them more?
Well, that's actually a good point. One of the things that we try and do, and other rescues will do this as well, is that if dogs do have behavioral issues, even if they're not part of our program, our goal is to work with them to keep the dogs in the household. So a lot of it is education on the people's part, and you know, it's very easy to do this, but a lot of people think of their dogs as furry kids. And you can't treat them the same way that you would treat people. So understanding dog behavior, why they may be doing what they're doing, they're not rationalizing and thinking like we are. So it's really getting people to understand how to interpret the dog's behavior and then how to manage it, and also what's appropriate and what's not.
Oh, thank you. And could you share some prospect of the Central Rescue?
Some of the current dogs, or?
All of the dogs and the organizations.
So, well, we've actually had a good number of adoptions recently. We had a young beagle, Bonnie, that was an owner surrender, and she was a very high energy dog. And when you get a dog, especially like a beagle or other type of working dog, they're not content just kind of laying around the house. They need a job to do. They need to be well exercised. So quite often we get dogs that were in the wrong environment. So we found a great home, a family that understands beagles, that's able to give their dogs, give the dog the exercise that it needs. So Bonnie just went into a new home. We had a small dog, Tori, who's a rat terrier, and a lot of people think small dogs are really easy and great for kids, but a lot of them are also the terrier. They're a working dog. They're diggers, hunters, and they need an outlet, they need exercise, they need their discipline, and we were able, after a good amount of time, able to find a good home for her. And then currently we have Mama Dog, who is a young pit bull mix, a young girl herself, and she just had 8 puppies. And they're a few weeks old right now, and what we're focusing on, especially with the bully type breeds, is to make sure they get a lot of socialization with people and other dogs at a young age. Now right now the puppies are too young to be exposed to other dogs, but they are getting a lot of handling with people, so they're very comfortable with people around. And so on the rare occasion that we do get a litter, we really focus on the early weeks, 7 weeks to 10 weeks, very, very critical period in a dog's development. And then also the big next step is finding the right homes. People understand it's a lifetime commitment. These are high energy breeds, and there might be some challenges with the breeds as they get older.
Thank you for sharing the Central Rescue with us, and we want all the people know this organization. Thank you very much.
Thank you.